Belgrade Esselakot Bala Ashk, Rechlachini Bamat Kedasers Lainim. Reapel Bechal Chaligis Votwat, Rematlecha Tibiatka, Schlachanam. Inarava Plecha, Chaligiv Fatmat Sarvesos, Mutwat Kedrat, Shachligiv. Relach Metzinot Lakis Vot, Maseshra Kevin. In Redach Lekre, Fech Alchidi Nomasot, Lefech Machanim. And Shechlek Rebefechli Twas, Vesashov Maatzim. Getrelach Techa, Chalivis Motlachi, Shevot Matzem. Relch Tichel, Vesashvot Metzechi, Shvat Metzechi, Shvat. Inrenat Rebefechli Itzemash. Inrenat Metzecha, Levises, Lekheltiva. Sechla at Matzesha of Motkeda. Relchat Chaligiv Sechluat Mias Secheshkla Chachalim. Lo Kerabet Lach Matzechid Motzivak. Skalchalak Rebefechli in Rebetach Motzina. If you want to say, Melech, yes, I have been used, but not used on the wheel of mine, and not used like if I would be part of. I never were with them and I want. I have been cited, I have been forbidden, and with no class to sing this word, and prohibited to reaching out my freedom in all of the ways and permanently having me like object of them mobiles and them satisfactions as they are. Terms as no terms, ways as not ways. Anything like I will express the same reason I wanted to leave and United Evangelics Bibor at the Quarta, making the denouncing and the character of we are going to be and we are governments and we are going to make this that you won't like if you don't hear us. With them Sodom and Gomorrah all over the world. Justice bodies. This Tich Matzachim, I wanted to leave. I didn't want to do nothing here. 2005 I started saying I got to leave, let me go. And for Patlu, Ahmatzima and Kev prohibiting me to reaching out and having something at the hand. And with this class of threats, International Court of Justice, the ever-present class, and I like an element for help, assistance, and discovery with Interpol accused to make conspiring, endless humanity, murdered every time by Ejército Argentino, Policía Federal Argentina, Gendarmería Nacional, Kirchners all over, with the Milagro Evangelics since then. Like the 18 cases at the court of Alden Moldbach. And everyone were related on me. And I was working with them and they knew me. And they wanted to put me out of here. And trying to reach me out. I have murders upon my back that I never imagined I would. And the destruction and the condition that I suffer is exactly that I never meant this to be. I have been trying to reach out freedom in the whole of the ways, even asking through inquirers to United Nations, the only media that I reached out in a very miraculous way from Buenos Aires, because of there were no address in the whole of the United Nations page for no one to be reached, and the whole of the commands and the campus for the filling of form never worked and never were sent from here. And with the effort, we started to open ways for the people to claim out and to claim in for justice and help, which here never happened, except for the ones that were giving them efforts which also murdered for the reason of basuras and pharmaceuticals and the whole sickness test. So the reality, if you want to say, I will drop dead at this moment and asking Adonai just to remember the whole of the victims, because if I am not sure if there wouldn't be for other night that I can take more of this. I have a lifetime over murders up on my back, and I won't play the victim in the poor one. Whatever to be my responsibility, I'm going to carry it. And that's what I'm going to do. And the clear fact of this is exactly what we go through. If you want, I just say, I have been trying to get out, and I have been trying to do something Kayala worth with, where a clear fact of much of them dealing with BSA, Ejército Argentino in Ezeiza, in Era Parque, Buenos Aires. And I reaching out and approaching to the airports, Caltech and International, to get out of here, trying to get over her and fighting each time as they were trying at the offices of IDMED, Aeropuertos Argentinos of me. Diplomats of United Nations Diplomatic Corps Headquarters, G20, and coalition. Too much people trying to reach me out and I asking please to not be nearing. I'm taking the way. I'm trying institutionally to handle this somehow and no one to be murdered and murdered one and another like flies. But this degenerates, like the case of the two American girls. From the same state of United States of America with Mr. President Barack telling them, don't you ever go. And they've taken self-decision instigated, and I'm not going to lie, but Guillermo Horacio Pren and Osvaldo Carnival in person saying that they will ever help me, and telling that they have something like Policía Federal Argentina knew and had to discover and had having, and they went to Ezeiza Airport, Buenos Aires, seeking for me, and they were awaiting there and telling me from presidents of the United States of America, my supposed players, help them to get out of there alive. And I spent the 2 days in the streets and being at the Ezeiza, expecting a contact to leave. And were not from them, were Kayala Worthwood trying to reach me out. And these two girls, kidnapped by Policía de Seguridad Aeroportuaria, Argentina, and Policía Federal, telling that they had something that they didn't have to be around and nothing to do. And asking to them, where is this money from and what did you come to do here? But teller shit making, like Sodom and Gomorrah, naturally. And they telling them, I don't have to give you explanation. Here you have the right government of the United States of America. I'm state responsible and I am doing a clear thing and this money is personal. This money is my own, they said. And I can do whatever I want. You cannot tell me what to do with my money, and I didn't come to do no crime, and I am a responsible of government. Leave me alone, let me go. And getting off of the offices, perrazos degenerados, getting the both of them by the neck with the arm, dragging them, hidden them the hell out, raped them in the offices, and delivered them in what we call here calabozo. Naked, with cold, broken bones inside hemorrhages and much other. Raped, and raped, and another, and another. And the money they kept saying it were for the fag. And we won't let them pass. This is not going to run. And they were murdered, and I delivered 2 bodies to the United States of America. My supposed to be Iris. And perra sucia, saying, that never happened here, we don't do that. I'm going to cover me as an anciet, perra de guarda. Sorry for this. And like these 2 girls, these 2 women, much older, permanently running from the hunting of this perro de guarda, saving me and destroying me. I have genocides up on my back. And we're always the same. Brain crudo carníval Cabrera Anacondia with Ejército Argentino, Oficialismo Argentina, Peronismo Argentino, and the whole society saying he the liars, he thinks he's gonna remain, he doesn't like the competition, he thinks only he can begin. And it's the level of sickness and the generation of this cut and left with the pardon of victims and innocents. A lot. This is exactly what I've been through. Whatever I cut to carry, I'm going to carry, but shit, I'm not going to buy. Ever. And the reality is simple, God. I never needed this, and I didn't want this. And I were much of times called weak. Weak. Also, because of I didn't transit at the point of health of the world to be destroyed, and even murdered a lot of people that knew me, and even responsible suffice to see if I would ever just cross by, and having a choice to taking chances and taking risks, and in the way I myself putting there the generates of this, and taking a plane and pilot myself, because if I could do that, and I apologize for what I didn't do, but the reality were other that you already know, like March 17, 2014, and December 9th, 2010. You already know what happened. And those were the choices. I got myself putting them there up on a plane and piloting myself to my destination. But the rest of this, I'm supposed to Laris delivered into 9,004 persons that I already ripped out from the hands of Sodom and Gomorrah that went to kidnap and suppress, to rape and murder because of they hurt me and they said, he's right. And this is every day I'm telling to perros evangelistas de Cuarta, get off because of you are the responsibles of this and you are doing this, not him. And it's exactly true. And in the middle of this all is exactly I'm tired. And I am briefing and I am telling, but there is not enough infrastructure at the damages and destruction I got for this to be solved at once and that. I am preparing for more, every day a witchcraft, and every day a degeneration, and every day playing the supper gods, being demons, and playing the supper all knowing I'm going to be and not him. And I just don't know when this is going to be over, but I'm going to fight it. And the reality is I am tired and I'm sorry for the frustrations. And I love you so much. And I meant to being at home. And I'm serious. And I meant to end this and I meant to living. Klerbefa halakim rabatecham. Ishbotla meplechta chalifa at ketzef. Skelchaba blechma chalgi visvot lechachimiv an matzeleshkot. Betlechba chalgini ansmat. Shlegi verchelvachmot lefech lachimian. I didn't want to do a thing, I didn't want to say nothing, I didn't want to come to no condition of no therapy for the talking and they to discover and hearing and teller, guessing and making the whole degeneration and infrastructure and organization for whatever the shit they wanted to make up for making what they're doing to us. I wanted to leave. And the United Evangelics Degenerados, Lord said, if you want to eat, you cut to work. He's not working and making up the class of a business of my life and careers of Degenerados, demonologists, diablos. And with this so much other. And it were every day. The clear fact of this were the spiritual factor of that spiritual terrorism. The levers of Terra Pecuarta, Sodoma y Gomorra, Argentina, Ejército Argentino, Policía Federal, Gendarmería, CIDE, with Kirchner, everyone, were exactly the factor of this fever of the generate and the soul development of abominables, which still there's to keep on. And the reality is simple, I never wanted and I never endorsed, but every time as I tried something, they knew before I would ever do, not even the thought I would ever hold them. Without they to come to murder and destroying before I should just reach out. And it's exactly what I've been through. And it's exactly what we're happening, not like I will ever ask this to be. And we're always the same ones. And victims all over in and out, permanently. And the reality is, if I wouldn't be me, it's a simple symptom, which is not necessarily, not even how to say. Every son of a snake that generates cross by, telling whatever the shit this pours all over in the whole of the country, UNASUR of the world. And I'm going to tell you one thing that I can. This is a very The libraries one with health problems, and we knew it in Buenos Aires, and never knew me at all, the disgusting brazen crap. And the reality of this is exactly, he's a liar and pretends to be holy, but he's a degenerate and federal police of Argentina, and president of Argentina. They are right also, but shall excite the heavy bear then. Perrito de guarda. And remotely and the reality is simple. Vatican told me about the Waga Chenki. To the world. To the face of the world. So the libraries one. And about it. And I'm sorry for the sensitive. I'm sorry for the faint ones that you got to open your eyes and protect yourselves right immediately whenever we spoke and so clear about it. They are ma'it kobat tomorrow. And this degenerates associated to them, receiving $1 million monthly for the making what they do. Carnival, brain, already the case, perro de guarda, best bin ramatica, masimatek, bimishki. Enforcing the database with Policia and Kirchner, Policia Federal. For there to be, always were, balls, yeah. And Bleramo Plethvis, Civiscopla Pechlahi, Carnival, Cabrera, Anacondia, Jimenez, $1 million monthly for making what they do. And this is not a joke. And I am not making no forgery, and this is not conspiring against no authority of no God. This is exactly the truth. And you know what? This comes from Vatican and the government of the world. They raised it. Luciano Troviano, Prime Minister of Vatican. It grew therein, and it received in the Magna Salum that there's to say never existed. The whole perro de guarda, you've got to grow up. Buon instrumenti, and not for Italy. And that were the thing, and they knew all along that I were who I am. And that's the symptom. And if I got to be guilty of this, well, it happened so long that the violence of the damages and the suffer and the genociding brought pain and damages. And so much times suffer to the ones that put it back alone. Were saying enough. And this class of shits around, which also dares to guess me saying we are singing, not him. But the reality of suffering for the reason of this shit, making the world to Eladon and whatever Eladon were making, and saying enough. So the simplicity is one thing. Victims, innocence. Quote of damages and suffer and pain and healing, one thing. Which don't have to happen either. Shit, no. I have been a lifetime suffering this, and my conscience came back to Eladon since 2003 and on. And you know what? I am sick of this, God. If I will ever have to join the pieces of my life at the reality of this soul and this lacra mal nacida, whichever choice every time I put one in a hell death. The clear fact is I'm not sure that I will survive another minute and breathe still more. But the reality is I still have Adon. Adon is going to do the job. And I don't need the sorry of nobody. I am no poor one. I am Elia. And I'm Elia. And I'm going to be with Eladon, the same every one of us, and I'm going to love you evermore. But the reality is simple. It's what it is. And I am where I am, and happens what it happens. And the only way that I know is being with other men fighting it. And it's what I'm going to do still more. HTTPS www.NDRC and CBI DXX4143 BRTMC 1419 middle SOL MACT system sys 44 middle OCB RMC 8961645 farfartif commands 4148 middle 89 zeros 12 sixes 1319855 middle sys middle ORM and 624. That 6 with C, this is EUIXT. Point IT, systems recall F9. Here is everything else you will ever inquire around, and I need you to be protected. Don't you worry for whatever we are going through. I'm going to deal with. I have to deal. I'm sorry again, and sorry is not enough. I wish I just don't just say no word else, and I just end them somehow in the middle of a world of utter chaos, which every day were worse and insufferably disgusting. This never ends until they be ended. And it's not something I've done or I wanted. And neither us. Ask you please. Let's be careful and this be taken as it is. I am a person as well. And I don't need to manipulate nobody, and I'm not denying nothing, and I'm not making no coverage. Like this part of the water text to say I do. I love you so much, and I'm so sorry for everything. This is June the 21st, 2015, already around 1830 maybe, 1900, Buenos Aires. Alejandro María Blanco Redemi birthed in Buenos Aires at September 7th, 1968. Elishel Elie Blanco Redemi Ablecha Disehishka Tzedecha Haida Amasi Melechates Et Tzedecha Hai Ini Lisha Zimachlachi Imasia Getin Riach Zimo Atzede Hatamiero Shkafchachi Melechadi Isha Ziyad Elram Yiskarab Himapechachi Ishmasiri Melech. I love you. I'm going to hold on, whatever to be for, hold on. I'm going to hang on, whatever to be about. I'm going to carry what I gotta carry, and I'm going to fight what I gotta fight, and I'm going to put that what is in my duty to. And the best for me to do is what I already told you. I don't know no other way but being without a name, fighting what I gotta fight. And it's what I'm going to do still. And I hope Adonai to help me for this to be much effective for more every day and saying enough and over. I need you please to be safe, and I'm sorry.